wrestle with Dave Brown and Corey Macklin, ready to go with another big week of USWA Championship Wrestling. And David, I'll tell you, it has been hot outside. That comes as no news flash to anybody, but it has been hot in the USWA.
It has indeed in recent weeks. All kinds of things going on. Today may be no exception. Listen to some of the matches we got today. Got a mixed match. We got Pat Tanaka and Miss Karen, Uptown Karen, going against Superstar Bill Dundee and Miss Texas.
All right.
Not only that.
Good.
Not only that, you got Gorgeous George III in the ring. He's going to be going against Doug Gilbert. PG-13 will be in action. Billy Jack Haynes will be around today. We'll also have updates, videotapes of action, some of the hot action that's been going on in recent days.
Talking about hot, 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 this summer has been indeed that, inside and outside. But one of the guys that hadn't been able to enjoy it that much, a major star right here in the USWA, has been out with injuries. But the good news is he's gotten a doctor's release. He's going to be on his way back into action. Let's take a look at Too Sexy. Saw him, Too Sexy Brian Christopher, and he is ready to come right back and get into action.
Now let's get right to the point again, all you punks in Memphis. That VTR must be about 10 years old, because when Billy Jack Haynes puts somebody out, he puts them out for good. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Brian Christopher is never coming back.
He is booked to be coming back, and we're going to be looking for him right back here. I hear you. We'll be back in just a moment. Boy, that's it.
Action coming up in the ring here in just a moment in the USWA. Got another fine match coming up for you. However, headed this way right now, a smiling Brandon Baxter headed in here.
Sunday, Monday, happy day. Tuesday, Wednesday,
Wait. Not the top 40 here. Why are you so happy anyway?
This has been the greatest week of my life. My beautiful young life, this has been the greatest week. Will you shut your mouth? Let's start with point number one. I got a phone call earlier this week from Jim Cornette, the head of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, the man who is ruling Smoky Mountain Wrestling right now, and he's also ruling the USWA. He told me, he said, Brandon Baxter, I can't come to the USWA each and every week, but due to the fact that you are the best manager to come through the USWA in a long time, I want you to be in charge of the heavenly bodies. So I said I would be more than happy to manage Dr. Tom Pritchard and the gigolo Jimmy Del Rey, and pretty soon I will lead the heavenly bodies to the tag team championship. Number two, I noticed that this week the supposable superstar Bill Dundee is about to be finished with professional wrestling. This week he signed a match where the loser has to leave, and he's wrestling Buddy Landau. So right there, Smoky Mountain reigns supreme over the USWA. Buddy Landau's from Smoky Mountain. That means Bill Dundee is out of wrestling. Another thing, just let me add this. This makes my week good, too. Who was it that I beat this week? Who was it that I beat? A man that you and old big-nosed Lance Russell over there consider to be your son. I beat promoter Randy Hales fair and square.
Yeah, not fair and square. You beat him, but you had some thugs come in and interfere from outside.
I beat him. See this punch? A knockout punch. Randy Hales went down. 1, 2, 3. I am undefeated in the USWA.
No, it wasn't that way at all. Wasn't that way at all.
Okay.
Can I just say Brian Lee perhaps involved?
You're not going to ruin my day. I have one more thing I would like to say. You just now saw what happened. I have formed an alliance that is the toughest in the USWA. Brick by brick, the foundation of the USWA will crumble until standing atop the rubble is Brandon Baxter. Let me bring out part of my corporation right now. I'm talking about primetime Brian Lee. I'm talking about Pat Tanaka. And this man, what a coup, Axel Rotten.
Yeah, Axel Rotten, a turncoat, jumped in there. We thought that he was with the other group, and all of a sudden, he's jumping in there on the other side.
You know something, Dave Brown? I come here to the USWA, I told the people, hey, I want to rid the USWA of garbage. That's exactly what I'm going to do now. All these people running around, Doug, Gilbert, Tommy, Rich, they want to step in the ring with Axel Rotten. Let me tell you something, you bunch of little jerky necks. It's a violent world that I live in, and violence is my life. And now here in the USWA, I'm going to show you what my life's all about. You understand what I'm saying?
Obviously, the money of Brandon Baxter got to Axel Rotten and put him on the other side. Brian Lee, let me tell you one thing. That interview we tried to do with you on the phone last week, you said some things that upset everybody here. I caution you, don't do that again today.
First of all, Dave Brown, you don't tell me anything. You ask me. You don't tell me anything. You see, Doug Gilbert, for the last few months, you've been coming out here from TV, crying and whining, holding your head down. See, the bottom line is, Dave Brown, Doug Gilbert has no friends. Doug Gilbert has no family. Doug Gilbert has no life. He rides up and down the road with his head hung low, tear running down his face, so I even had to get rid of him, Dave. You see, because when a man's in misery, what do? You have to get rid of him. So, Doug Gilbert, you can come out here and cry all you want to. Cry about your wife, cry about your family, cry about your friends that left. You see, primetime Brian Lee needs no friends. You're looking at the only friend primetime Brian Lee needs, and it's right here. So, Doug Gilbert, lace them up tight, because I will take you out of your misery.
Well, we'll see what happens with all of that situation. Brandon Baxter.
Hey, Brown, when I'm standing up here, quit eyeballing me. Don't you be eyeballing us when you're standing.
You boys going now? What's your heart?
Get him in the ring here. Corey, let's go with the match, all right?
Okay, Dave, we're ready for action. One fall, a 10-minute time limit here today. First introducing, oh, look out. TD Steele and Blackjack Daniels taking on Axel Rotten and Brian Lee. Before any introductions, guys, Bill Rush is referee for this one.
Axel Rotten. Swell group. Brian Lee. Yeah, what a great group, huh?
This right here is a small warning to anyone in the USWA who wants to mess with Brandon Baxter. Destruction. I'm going to demolish everyone in the USWA. This is just proof.
Before the bout really could officially get underway, Lee and Axel Rotten got it underway.
Man, Axel Rotten just suplexed him and flipped him 180 degrees at the same time.
Blackjack and TD facing Axel Rotten and Brian Lee. And the one thing that you always have to keep your eye on is Brandon Baxter outside that ring. Rotten, a rugged individual, has switched over and joined Brandon Baxter. Reverse atomic knee, and down goes TD.
Axel Rotten has him on the shoulder, smashes him into the mat. Over to the corner, and the tag on Prime Time, who climbs the rope. Off the top, he springs down, lands on the back of TD Steele. Over to the corner. Takes a shot.
Jack Daniels caught right in the mid. 1, 2. Looks like it, Dave. 2, 3, pounding on TD and Blackjack Daniels, who never really got a chance to get in there. We've got more action. Be back to it in just a moment.
One fall, a 10-minute time limit for action right in the ring. 239 pounds. Out of Hollywood, California, there is Gorgeous George III. And in his corner, Uptown Karen. The opponent today wrestles out of Lexington, Tennessee at 242 pounds. Dangerous Doug Gilbert. One fall, a 10-minute time limit. Bill Rush's referee over to Dave Brown and Lance Russell.
Okay, Corey, Doug Gilbert coming out. Doug, with all of the people knocking him out here, Doug had some things to say about it. Let's take a listen right now as to what Doug Gilbert has to say as we get ready to go with this match between GG3 and Doug Gilbert. Here's Doug.
I guess you think I'm going to stand out here and I'm going to take, and I'm going to take, and I'm going to keep on taking. Well, boy, you stood out here and you said I have no friends. You said I have no family. You talked about something you should have never talked about, you idiot. You talked about my brother. Not only did that rattle me, but it upset my family. So you know what that means for you, boy. It's time for you to pay, and I'm going to be the collection agency.
Dangerous Doug, they call him, so don't take those words lightly when he said he's going to be the collection agent. Gorgeous George complaining about Doug Gilbert pulling the hair. He'll be complaining about something throughout the entire match.
I cannot believe what I just now heard. I hear Doug Gilbert out here on TV for the fourth or the third week in a row, whining and crying. I am totally sick and tired of listening to him. I could care less what his family thinks. I could care less what he thinks, and I could care less what his stupid fans think.
Well, I'll tell you what, you weren't listening very carefully because he wasn't whining and crying. What he was doing was giving you a warning out there. He's not taking any more. He's going to collect a little.
And I'm supposed to be scared of Doug Gilbert?
No, hey, you just do anything that you want to. But when you get around Doug Gilbert, you might look over your shoulder. GG3 back in the ring, facing off with Doug Gilbert.
What a great athlete Gorgeous George is. He's going to beat Doug Gilbert right here. I might not even have to worry about getting my hands on Doug Gilbert. It could end right here on television today.
Boy, that would be a change if you stayed out of a match and didn't get involved in it. Gorgeous George, there's that European uppercut. Wham, and Gilbert right back. Just a plain right hand with a fist double. Yes, he did. But look at that, gouging the eyes. Gorgeous George plants one in the midsection.
I used to ride the roads with Doug Gilbert, but I have never seen anyone who is more of a changed man. He has changed for the worse. He cares what these people think. I just cannot believe he has stooped so far.
Maybe he saw the light, Brandon. It might be something you would look around for. Being choked over there on the rope by Gorgeous George III, and Bill Rush backs him up away from Gilbert.
The only lights Doug Gilbert's going to see is when Brian Lee gets through with him. Doug Gilbert will be laying flat on his back, looking up at the lights. That's all the light killed us.
Uptown Karen irritating Doug in the ring. He's got to pay attention because this guy he's wrestling is a tough son of a gun with all of his trappings of spraying the ring and so forth. Oh, beautiful. Takes him down to the mat and hammers that head. Atomic knee reversal as Doug whips him across. Sunset flip. Gorgeous George trying to get him off. Gilbert goes into his tights, pulls the chain out, and rips Gorgeous George. Throws the chain. 1, 2, 3. A winner, Doug Gilbert.
Ooh. Doug Gilbert got Brendan Baxter. Look out, though. Brian Lee and Axel Rotten have now jumped Doug Gilbert. Here comes Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich sends Axel Rotten flying, goes into the ring, heads for prime time Brian Lee. He got him knocked off his feet, and it's Rich standing by Gilbert.
Rotten and Lee and Brandon Baxter backing away as Tommy Rich says, come on. Two of us standing in here, waiting on you. All you have to do is make your appearance through the rope. And Doug Gilbert not only comes out with a win in the match, but he was victorious after it when Tommy Rich came out and cleaned the house and ran him off.
What did I just hear? Just a little bit earlier, Lance Russell. Poor old Doug Gilbert don't have any friends. Poor old Doug Gilbert don't have any family. Well, if you look right here beside of me, you see both, you idiots. Tell him, Tommy.
You know, I said a couple of weeks ago, Lance Russell, you made me see a whole new light. My little girls are proud of me now. Good. People in Memphis even hollering, go, Tommy, go. Been a long time since that happened. And you know, you guys come out here and talk about Doug Gilbert and all of his family and this, that, and the other. Well, I remember Tommy Gilbert and Eddie Marlin watching them when I was a kid. So you talking about family going way back. Doug Gilbert and myself, we go way, way back. And anytime he needs the wildfire, you can bank that the wildfire will be here.
And there's something else, Lance Russell, that you can take to the bank. It's already booked this week, Tommy. We got two big bad boys, and they didn't think I had a friend. Brian Lee, Axel Rotten, look at my friend. What it is, boys, it's hospital elimination. Have you ever went down to the med? Have you ever bled so bad you wish you wasn't alive? Well, this week, boys, anything that you might have saw before is not going to add up to this, because I can guarantee you one thing, Brian Lear, Axel Rotten. You might ought to call the burn unit and get them to come down there, or you might ought to just call the emergency room and make yourself ready for a visit.
With a whole new
We're going to take a walk down the wild side of life's what brother's telling you. So come on down and get some.
I can tell you one thing, with that kind of an attitude, you better look out if you're stepping across from Rich and Gilbert. Time out, back in just a moment. Energetic young men.
Oh,
they don't know they're not 6'5" and 285 pounds. PG-13. Son of a guns really should have never lost the titles. They had them almost stolen away from them.
No doubt about it. Jimmy Cornette interfering, Brendan Baxter interfering, and this whole Smoky Mountain Wrestling thing has really been a pain in the side of this PG.
You know, I'm kind of glad to see PG really get upset about the fact that those titles have been taken away from them in there, for the simple fact that shows they care, and brother, they do. These are a couple of guys that really want it. They've had the titles many times. Well, I'll tell you, on the other side of the fence, let's take a listen to the Smoky Mountain Thug.
The conspiracy continues. Eddie Marlin, Jerry Jarrett, and Randy Hales just hate the idea that Brandon Baxter has associated himself with Smoky Mountain Wrestling. They hate the idea I've associated myself with Jim Cornette and the Heavenly Buddies. They've gone so far as to this week I have to be handcuffed to the bottom rope during tag team matches between the Heavenly Buddies and PG-13. But I have nothing to worry about, because the Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey and the Doctor of Desire Tom Pritchard can get the job done.
You see, Brandon, we've had the deck stacked up against us many times before, and we've always walked out champions. We're going to walk in with the belts, and we're going to walk out with the belts. Correct, Gigolo?
You're exactly right, Doctor. PG-13. You may think you got us down because you got Brandon Baxter handcuffed to the bottom rope. But hey, that doesn't stop the Heavenly Bodies from coming and shoving these belts right down your throat and pulling them right back and putting them around our waist where they belong, PG-13.
You see, we have the new generation of managers on our side, along with the greatest in the world, Jim Cornette. We have got tag team action right here today on the USWA. One fall, a 10-minute time limit. First introducing a combined weight of 441 pounds from parts unknown, the Yellow Jacket. And his partner savvy from every woman's dream. Here is Reggie B. Fine. Their opponents today, 397 pounds. Coming in from the hood, JC and Wolfie. GG3 in the house. One fall. Bill Rush referee over the land today.
Oh boy, when they come in, the crowd on their feet. They want to see him. PG-13. You get to see him here today on USWA Championship Wrestling.
Even without the USWA tag belts, they are an exciting team. And here they got them going. And they got the place rocking. Wolfie D starting out against the Yellow Jacket. And
Hey.
bell time said, let's get it.
Aren't you supposed to be in the ring, Reggie?
I'm finna beat these punks up. I ain't never lost a match in my life. I'm gonna let y'all know that.
Never lost a match in his life. Somebody write that down. We'll look it up later, okay?
Yeah, we sure got to go look that one up.
Yeah.
Reggie starts, not Yellow Jacket. Wolfie D and Reggie tied up. Side headlock.
Yeah, Wolfie D does see that Reggie B. Fine was able to give him the slip there. He thought he had him in a headlock. Wolfie looked around, and Reggie was gone. Reggie doing a considerable amount of celebrating. They tie it up again in the middle of the ring. Wolfie D wraps him up again in a headlock. And Reggie again able to slip out of it.
Reggie's celebrating so much here, Dave, if he ever really does something, he'll just tear the place up celebrating.
Absolutely. Well, that's sort of the way Reggie is. He celebrates in the moments he can, and he also uses that opportunity to infuriate his opponent sometimes, too, and it works against him.
Wolfie comes out and puts a shoulder on the big guy. Reggie down under. Reversal. Nice hip toss. And with that arm, he drags him over and down. Let me tell you, this PG-13, they have one thing that really puts them right up there with a handful. Oh, use tights, did he? Is that what he said?
Or did he say he pulled his hair? I don't know. I didn't hear what he said. I just know he was complaining. And everybody in the crowd knew it was ridiculous, whatever he said.
If he said it, it probably was. Yellow Jacket takes the tag, enters the ring against Wolfie. What we were saying about PG-13, they have that ability to work together as a team. It separates the winners from the losers. Oh, nice leg scissors. Takes the Yellow Jacket straight down, wraps the toe up, and springs it back with a bridge and hooks the chin. But Reggie comes in and puts one right in the midsection.
If it hadn't been for Reggie there, I think Wolfie probably would have had a submission on the Yellow Jacket because he really had him tied up and he was hurting him. But Reggie interfered and stopped that. JC Ice takes over. Yellow Jacket on the mat. JC hanging onto the left arm. They're back on their feet, back to the ropes, across the way, and a big upper arm from JC Ice. He steps across his chest, goes for the covers. He got him one. No, just a 2 count.
Heavenly Bodies have the belts right at the moment. And frankly, they haven't convinced me that they can do it inside the ring. The reason that PG, whoa, and the Yellow Jacket with that double demon. 1, 2, 3, how about it? Just hard to find good help, isn't it, Reggie? Yeah, PG-13 comes out victorious. What I was saying was that Heavenly Bodies haven't proven to me that they can do it in the ring. They've had Cornette on the outside, Brandon Baxter, and that's the only reason that these two young men don't have those belts right back around their waist.
That's right, just like you seen on that tape right there. We had them beat without a shadow of a doubt, man. We give them all our good moves and they were gone. But see, it's just like in football, that intentional grounding.
See, they knew they were fixing to lose, and they probably give Brandon Baxter orders. They probably said, if it looks like we're fixing to get beat, man, come on, get us disqualified, because we can't lose those belts that way. Well, guess what, heavenly bodies? This week, you're not going to have Brandon Baxter there able to do that. He's going to be handcuffed to that bottom rope, and he can't move. And that means, Brandon Baxter, if I want to walk down there and slap you in that big hawk-nosed face of yours, I can do that if I want to, and I think I just might do it.
Sound like Wolfie's ready.
And then, you know, Lance Russell later on that night, 18-man battle royal. Now, I heard Jerry Lawler talk about PG-13 being small or whatever. But you see, Jerry Lawler, we're from the hood, man. And in the hood, we stick together. So we only got to beat 16 guys, and JC Ice and Wolfie D will be the USWA Tag Team Champions and the Unified World Champion.
They will be exciting wherever they are. Back in a moment.
Right here, Corey will have that for us in just a moment. Billy Jack Haynes is going to be involved in that match as the great action continues on the USWA today. But headed this way, well, he's the man that has the USWA heavyweight title. And I don't think anybody would argue that he is, in fact, one of the toughest guys ever to come through the USWA. It didn't take him long to win the belt. And he's still got it. Billy Jack Haynes.
I got to say this. Where toughness is in the USWA. I battled Tommy Rich all over the USWA. I still hold the belt. He gave me a tough shellacking, got my nose broke, a few stitches, none else to add to the 800 more stitches I've had in this business, because I said pro wrestling's toughest. Now, Lawler, you've been ducking me, I guess now. You're the unified title. I haven't seen you around. Now we got a battle royal coming up. And the winner of the Battle Royal gets to fight Jerry the King Lawler for the unified belt. Well, I damn sure am ready to win that. Now, Brian Christopher is supposed to be... Yeah, I gotta yell so y'all don't shut up. I'm talking. That's why I have to yell out here. I'm gonna show this punk. I'm gonna pretend this is Brian Christopher because he's supposed to be coming back. And everybody knows when I put a man out of pro wrestling, he's out of pro wrestling for good. So let me look into the camera and tell you, Brian Christopher, for good. This is a punk right here. This is you. I don't need the problem.
Billy Jack headed for the ring. Corey, look out.
First out of Millington, it's Charlie Laird and his opponent, the USWA heavyweight champion out of Portland, Oregon, Billy Jack Haynes. Bill Rush, the official referee, and guys, here we go.
All right, Corey. Be safe in there, especially when Billy Jack is around.
Yeah, the first thing you got to do is protect your life when that guy's around. And I don't know whether Charlie Laird knows that or not. If he doesn't, he soon will. Pioneer stood him on his head and brought him down to the deck. Billy Jack Haynes, whoa, he is just too much. I hate to say that at the beginning of a match. He is too much for Charlie Laird.
He is indeed, but I do want all the fans to keep in mind, and we got to remember that Brian Christopher has been out for weeks and weeks and weeks with a broken shoulder. Billy Jack Haynes is a man who broke his shoulder.
That's right.
But in spite of what Billy Jack says, Charlie Laird and Brian Christopher are not in the same wrestling league, if you will. Look out, look out, look out.
Hey, come on now, Billy Jack.
Get the mic. Here's Brian Christopher right here.
All right.
You see him?
Oh, that's great.
This is Brian Christopher right here.
Beat up. This guy is savage, Dave.
Yeah,
he is just absolutely savage. Yeah, we get the idea, Billy Jack.
Yeah, we understand what he's saying, but again, not to take a thing away from Charlie Laird, there's a count out right there, who's giving it a go, but Brian Christopher is going to be a different story when he climbs in here against Billy Jack.
He's already got the 1-2 free, and he's up there slapping Charlie Laird around.
Look at him.
Come on.
Because that's what it's all about.
The referee.
What a punk! A punk!
Billy Jack Haynes comes through with a victory over Charlie Laird. Absolutely no surprise. Whoa! Who is that? Not the referee. He hasn't got any fear in this guy. Brian Christopher.
And that is Brian Christopher. There's the super kick. Down to the mat goes Billy Jack. Off comes the jacket. Brian Christopher ready for more. Billy Jack Haynes rolls out of the ring down on the floor. And Brian Christopher is back. We'll be back in a moment.
Here we go. We're ready for action. This one to the expiration of our time. First introducing at a combined weight. What do you want, Bruno? We've got a match to take place here. First introducing to my right, from Glasgow, Scotland, Uptown Karen, and her partner from the islands of Hawaii, Pat Tanaka. And in their corner, Brendan Baxter and Downtown Bruno. Well, their opponents in this mixed tag match coming up today, wrestling out of Dallas, Texas, Miss Texas and her partner from the land down under of Australia, Bill Superstar Dundee. Exploration of our time for this one. Over to my pals, Lance Russell and Dave Brown.
All right, thank you, Corey. Brandon Baxter over here by the table. Bruno wandering around the ring. Too many managers. Too many managers here today, I think.
I've heard the rumors all week. Is it true that Miss Texas and Corey Macklin have a thing going on? Is that true?
Baxter, just do what managers are supposed to do, please. Stay away from here. Stay out of the action. Dundee against Pat Tanaka. Boy, a couple of tough guys here, huh?
Oh, you bet your life. Dundee with a nice move initially right here with Tanaka. And Dundee, he'll throw that fist. I mean, if he's breathing, he'll throw that fist. And he just nailed Pat Tanaka. Billy came over to the ropes, reached out and slapped Bruno upside the head. While he was doing nothing, he just, well, do that, and I'm all for it. If he'd just get Baxter, that's who I wish he'd get
That'd be great. Well, Bruno's not happy that he has been embarrassed by the superstar.
Well, Bill, you know what? Let me tell you something, Dave. You were embarrassed by Mother Nature with a face like that. Hey, the opera ain't over till the fat lady sings, and this match ain't over till the short guy gets pinned. And wait and see, baby. Bill Dundee's going to get pinned. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have Pat Tanaka knock him out with his super karate moves. We're going to let Uptown Karen come on in and pin him. How about that?
Well, let's see what happens here. You don't forget about Miss Texas in there along with the superstar.
Yeah, really. Miss Texas in the ring now with Uptown Karen. And it's dangerous to anybody's health that's in there with that little package of dynamite, because she can go. Look at that. Around behind, got a one, but Karen, who has very strong, powerful legs, she kicked out of that one. Gets slammed down. Tag on Tanaka, and that brings Dundee back in the mixed tag. When a guy goes in, the other guy has to come in. When the lady goes in, the other lady has to come in. And Downtown Bruno, hiding over behind Uptown Karen as Miss Texas was stalking him down, and Pat Tanaka with a chop nails Dundee and puts him down on his back. No, I don't take Pat Tanaka lightly. That's for a fact.
Boy, Tanaka, I remember the days of Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond when they were ruling tag team wrestling all around, especially in the middle of the United States. Boy, they were terrible. And
Brandon Baxter over kicking away on Dundee, and Bruno pulls a boot off. Yeah, cheap shot, Bruno. That's all I can say.
Don't you talk about my boots. They're expensive. They cost more than Dave Brown's hairpiece.
Oh, boy.
what a nice guy he is.
Yeah,
huh?
right. Tanaka blistering Dundee with that right hand. Tanaka, who well-versed on some of the martial arts, as Dundee staggering, and a whip hammers him diagonally into it, but Dundee swings out with that foot, follows with a right hand, and he is reversed into the turnbuckle. Oh,
Turnabout is fair play, baby. It's like Mama says. It feeds that way sometimes. What did I tell you? Bill Dundee will be flat on the canvas. That's exactly where he's at. Flat on the canvas. He's finished. Put him away. Wait a minute.
Tanaka drilled Dundee. Miss Texas comes in. Uptown Karen was going to get in there with a cheap shot at Dundee, and Miss Texas took care of that. And the whip, reversal, and Tanaka into Uptown Karen. 1, 2, 3, yet.
Dundee and Miss Texas celebrating over there. Well, I don't think Bruno envisioned it quite that way, huh? As Karen is pinned by Miss Texas, and this ball goes to the superstar and Miss Texas.
This is an expiration of time. We're going to check our time and be back in just a moment. Well, the first ball is down. It's an expiration of time match, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take it right on down to it. Oh, boy. Day is made. Downtown Bruno is here.
Maybe I'll just sit here and do the commentary since you and Dave obviously don't have a clue what's going on out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, we just may get up and leave, and that would leave you with nothing to say.
Hey, this is no smoking building, too. Don't try lighting that thing.
Do you not see that plastic cellophane around that cigar? It ain't lit up.
Keep it there.
We're going to beat them this time.
Yeah, we're going to find out. We'll be taking a look. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. We're ready for the second fall. One fall up already. Bill Dundee and Miss Texas winning the first ball. Uptown Karen and Pat Tanaka. As referee Bill Rush trying to get a little more. This may not be an easy one to referee right here.
No, I don't think so.
And the winner and the loser start, so that means Uptown Karen will be starting against Miss Texas. Miss Texas was the winner, and Uptown Karen, who really and truly has been a surprise in the fact that she has limited professional experience, and she, you got to look out for her. She'll sneak one in on you, but I'm not too worried about the young lady that she's up there with from Dallas, Texas, Miss Texas. And Karen takes the arm, wraps it around, but it's reversed. Miss Texas turns her over, snaps her down, and drops. What a good athlete she is.
One of the best, no doubt about it. She is really, really a skilled wrestler.
Oh.
There's one of those moves. Oh, my goodness. You almost feel sorry for Uptown Karen after she put that upper arm right in her face. There she is, takes her down to the mat. Uptown Karen reaching for the corner. She makes the tag. Pat Tanaka will be coming in. That means Bill Dundee will also have to step through the ropes.
It's obvious to me that Miss Texas is a coward. Why won't she stay in there and take on Tanaka?
Oh, come on. You know the rules as well as I do. When the men step in, it has to be man against man. When the women step in, it's woman against woman.
Dundee!
Well, nothing. Well, nothing. That's the rule.
Quick with a hand. Tanaka over there talking to Brandon Baxter, Dave, but I think he's got something up his sleeve, so to speak. Dundee out of the box quick, grabs the arm, turns it over. Tanaka take it over, and Miss Texas slaps him. That's right, Brandon. That's just exactly what's happening.
That's exactly right. He called it exactly right.
Gee, I'm glad he got the picture. Dundee, front chancery on Tanaka and drives him right down into the mat. Hops back up and steps right on the head. There's the tag to Miss Texas. She comes in and pops away at him as Dundee comes over and grabs Uptown Karen. Tanaka kicked out of the ring by Miss Texas.
Miss Texas not backing up at all from Pat Tanaka, in spite of what Bruno was saying, and Baxter mighty unhappy about it. She's in there now against Uptown Karen. Bruno, what's he doing? Jumping up on the ring apron. Little distraction there. Karen takes Miss Texas down to the mat. Miss Texas now with the upper hand. She's got that arm hammered up behind Karen's back. Drops down on the upper arm. Karen in trouble. Bruno trying to help from outside. You got to be careful. He's going to get disqualified for the team of Uptown Karen. And Pat Tanaka, shoulders down. Only a 2 count. Miss Texas wraps up that left arm. Ops the upper arm. Karen reaching for the tag. Can't make it. Pat Tanaka. Oh, it's Miss Texas gets the tag. He's thought about letting Uptown Karen have it with that right hand. But he doesn't. Pat Tanaka in for his team. It's Dundee against Tanaka in this mixed match, our main event of the day.
Bill Dundee fired in, and there's Brandon Baxter. As the referee distracted by downtown Bruno, Brandon Baxter tripped him up.
He just stumbled around and fell on his drum.
And from behind, Pat Tanaka with a reverse face lock.
Hey, boys, looks like old young lieutenant's learning from the old master, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, learning the wrong things.
A master of deceit, no doubt about that. Tanaka. 2 minutes left in the time period, Dave.
Yeah, time winded down. I'm happy we're able to bring you this fall here today. I know a lot of times we have to say, hey, not enough time to get another one going. Today we had time to do that, and we're bringing it along to you. It gives us a different problem, though. When time is up in television, time is up. You got to go. And if there's no pin, then this fall we'd have to ring the bell and end it in a draw. But look at this. What is Bruno doing to Dundee over there?
No, we've kind of forgotten the first fall because if the time runs out, Dundee and Miss Texas still win it. They
That's
won
right.
the first fall.
That's right.
Dundee's got a steel match cigar.
No, that's not what I saw. What I saw is you trying to injure Bill Dundee over there and keep him out of the action until Pat Tanaka could get back.
Oh, you got to be crazy. I've never interfered in a match in my life.
Tanaka digging away at the eyes of Bill Dundee, and Dundee had enough. He fired out with that right hand. Hooks him to the midsection with a left. There's a cover. Baxter up on the ring apron. We're down to the 60-second call. Dundee got Baxter in. He got downtown Bruno in. So you guys want to get involved? Have a little fun right here, then. Downtown Bruno thrown over.
Everybody in the ring. No way to get this one sorted out before time's up.
Winners, Dundee and Miss Texas. We got to get out of here. For Corey Macklin, Dave Brown, this is Laird saying bye-bye, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of USWA Championship Wrestling.